Imagine stepping outside to a tiny patio that suddenly feels brighter, wider, and strangely magical, without buying a single new thing. Imagine borders made from broken tiles that shimmer like tiny morning lanterns, bottles glowing softly under the first light of the sun, bricks and timber curving like a quiet storybook path guiding you through the garden. Imagine your small backyard looking like something crafted by hand, shaped by memory, and completely transformed by materials everyone else throws away. If you can imagine that, the next few ideas might change the way you see your patio forever. Welcome back to Backyard Fortune, the place where small homes become magical gardens using simple upcycles and things the world considers trash. If you love affordable border ideas, small space makeovers, and practical beauty you can build with your own hands, you're in the right place. And if any idea here inspires you, share this video on WhatsApp or Facebook to help more garden lovers discover it. To everyone who shares and watches our videos, may your days be long, healthy, and filled with peace. One, glow mosaic ribbon border. There is a special kind of beauty found in things that survive a second life. Shattered tiles, once forgotten in a corner, now gleam softly as though they have discovered a new purpose. Glass bottles, half buried in the soil, rise like tiny morning lanterns holding fragments of sunlight inside them. Together, they form a gentle ribbon that curves along the garden bed, guiding the eye the way a small stream guides wandering leaves. In the early hours of the day, the border glows with a quiet warmth. The ceramic pieces catch the light in different ways, some sharp, some soft, each one carrying the memory of where it used to belong. Moss settles between the fragments, stitching them together the way time stitches old stories with new beginnings. Lavender leans toward the mosaic, releasing a calm scent that settles in the cool air. This border doesn't try to impress with perfection. Its charm comes from the way it becomes part of the garden, humble, shimmering, and deeply human. It reminds us that beauty often appears where patience meets imagination, where broken things are given one more chance to shine. And as the ribbon leads you toward the next corner, another idea waits quietly, ready to reveal its own small magic. Two, fairy glass bottle border with morning light color fade. There is something quietly enchanting about a row of glass bottles resting along the soil, catching the very first colors of the day. When the sun rises and its light spills softly across the garden, the bottles awaken, glowing gently from deep green into soft amber, the way dawn melts into morning. Placed at different depths, they rise and fall like a small wave, creating a rhythm that feels alive, as if the light itself is breathing along their edges. Lavender leans toward the border, brushing against the glass with its calming scent, while time spills over the soil in quiet, gentle curves. Moss settles naturally between the bases, weaving nature's signature into the border until everything feels seamless, as though the bottles have always belonged to the earth. Their reflections shift with each passing minute, offering a new sparkle every time the light changes. There is no noise in this kind of beauty, only the soft whisper of stillness, the tenderness of morning, and the simple wonder of watching ordinary objects glow with unexpected grace. The border becomes a reminder that even the simplest materials can hold a quiet magic when placed with care. And as the path bends toward the next corner, another idea waits patiently, ready to share its own gentle charm. 3. Earth and light fusion border. There is a quiet harmony that appears when two very different materials meet, one shaped by earth and time, the other shaped by light. The curved border of reclaimed bricks and glass bottles seems to hold this harmony perfectly. The bricks stand firm and warm, their edges marked by years of weather and memory. Between them, the bottles rise gently from the soil, catching threads of sunlight as if they were small beacons left behind by the passing dawn. The curve of the border feels like a natural gesture, following the land rather than forcing it. Lavender brushes softly against the bricks, releasing its fragrance in slow, calming breaths. Creeping time spills over the edges, weaving green threads between stone and glass. Moss gathers in quiet places, adding softness to the structure, blurring the line between human hands and nature's touch. With each moment of shifting light, the bottles offer a different glimmer, a soft morning glow, a midday sparkle, a muted evening hue. The border becomes less of an object and more of a gentle companion to the plants it frames. It reminds us that beauty often lives in contrasts, earth and light, roughness and glow, stillness and reflection. And as the curve guides the eye to the next corner, another idea begins to unfold, ready to share its own quiet story. Four. Reclaimed stone cottage path with pocket moss islands. There is a certain peace in walking a path that feels shaped by time rather than tools. Reclaimed concrete pieces, softened by years of sunlight and rain, settle into the soil like stones that have always belonged there. Each one carries its own tone, soft grays, warm browns, muted tans, blending naturally with the earth. Between the stones, small islands of moss appear like gentle pauses in a quiet melody, adding a softness that turns the path into something almost living. Lavender brushes lightly against the edges, releasing a subtle fragrance that drifts along the walkway. Creeping time stretches into the gaps, weaving greenery between the stones, guiding each step with a touch of life. The stones warm slowly under the morning sun, casting delicate shadows that shift with every breeze, making the path feel different each time you walk it. This reclaimed path is more than a walkway, it is a reminder that even the most forgotten materials can return with quiet dignity. It shows how nature embraces what we place in its care, softening hard edges, offering warmth where there once was none. And just as the path curves gently into the next corner, another idea begins to reveal itself, ready to share a new layer of simple wonder. Five. Chunky recycled timber edging with moss and lavender softening. There is a grounded warmth in reclaimed timber, the kind that only wood touched by seasons can hold. When thick, weathered beams stand shoulder to shoulder along a garden bed, they bring with them the quiet strength of old stories. Each beam shows its history through soft cracks, deep grain, and gentle fading, marks left behind by sun, rain, and time. Together, they form a border that feels sturdy yet comforting, like a familiar voice humming in the background of a peaceful morning. At the base of the timber, moss settles easily, creating soft green blankets that wrap around the wood the way nature embraces a resting place. Lavender spills lightly over the tops, its scent drifting with every small breeze. Creeping time threads itself between stones and soil, weaving gentle lines of green that soften every angle. The contrast of wood and life, solid and soft, creates a rhythm that feels both rustic and deeply human. As the light shifts, the timber glows with warm tones, casting quiet shadows that ripple across the plants. The border becomes more than a structure. It becomes a moment of stillness, a reminder that beauty often grows from what has already lived a long life. And as you step past the final beam, another idea begins to rise gently ahead, waiting to share its own story. Six, raised pallet plus brick hybrid bed. There is something deeply inviting about a garden bed that rises in gentle steps, as though the earth itself is lifting its hands to present the plants more closely to the light. When reclaimed pallet wood and old bricks come together, they create a structure that feels both familiar and quietly remarkable. The bricks form a warm, grounded foundation, their tones shifting from deep rust to soft clay, while the pallet planks rise above them in calm, even tiers. Each level becomes its own little world, lavender on the upper step catching the first breath of morning sun, herbs on the second tier releasing a comforting scent, creeping thyme weaving down the lower edge like soft trailing lace. Terracotta pots rest nearby, echoing the warm earth tones of the bricks, while moss settles easily in the shaded corners, adding softness to the structure. The step design invites the eye to travel upward, giving small plants the presence of much larger ones. It adds depth without demanding space, and character without needing perfection. This hybrid bed feels like a bridge between what once was useful and what now becomes beautiful again. As your gaze follows the final tier into the next corner of the garden, another idea emerges, waiting to share the quiet charm held in everyday materials. Seven, mosaic pottery plus terracotta microsteps. There is a quiet charm in the small things that lift a garden gently upward. Tiny steps built from broken pottery and terracotta shards glow with the warmth of sun-baked earth, each piece holding its own memory of fire, clay, and time. Arranged in soft ascending layers, the fragments catch the morning light in a way that feels intimate, as if the garden is whispering its first words of the day. Creeping thyme spills lightly over the edges, its green threads softening the structure while breathing life into the warm tones below. Lavender leans close, brushing color and fragrance into the scene. Moss gathers in quiet pads between the steps, cooling the terracotta and adding a softness that anchors everything into the soil. The micro steps feel like a small invitation, an upward gesture, a gentle rise that encourages the eye to wander and discover. Their beauty lies not in perfection, but in the humble rhythm of pieces finding new purpose. Each shard becomes part of a larger story, one shaped by patience, texture, and the soothing honesty of the earth. And as your gaze reaches the top of the tiny staircase, another idea begins to unfold, offering yet another way that simple materials can transform a garden into something meaningful. Eight, gravel and wood drainage buffer. There is a special kind of beauty in the thin lines that hold a garden together. A narrow buffer made from old aquarium gravel might seem simple at first glance, yet it carries a quiet elegance that reveals itself slowly. The tiny stones, each one softened by years of water and light, settle into their new place with gentle familiarity. Their mixed tones form a natural mosaic, touched by warm terracotta accents that bring a soft glow to the earth beneath them. Slim wooden strips guide the gravel with an honest, unpolished charm, framing the line the way a calm hand frames a page. Creeping thyme leans over the edges in small, effortless drifts, while moss sprouts in light patches, adding coolness to the warmth of the stones. Lavender grows nearby, its scent drifting softly across the buffer, reminding you that even the smallest details can influence the feeling of a garden. This drainage line doesn't ask for attention, it offers clarity. It gives the soil room to breathe, marks the path with gentle order, and brings a sense of calm to the space. It shows how a garden can be shaped by the quietest materials, by the overlooked things we place thoughtfully back into the world. And as your eyes follow the clean line into the next corner, another idea begins to form, ready to reveal its own quiet purpose. Nine, Brick plus Wood Fusion Raised Bed. Some garden features feel like conversations between two different worlds, one ancient and sturdy, the other warm and welcoming. A raised bed built from reclaimed bricks and wooden panels carries this dialogue beautifully. The bricks, softened by years of weather and memory, form a foundation that feels strong and familiar. Above them, smooth wooden boards rest like calm breaths, warm in tone, gentle in presence, offering a sense of quiet refinement. Lavender finds comfort in the corners, sending its fragrance upward. Creeping thyme drifts over the edges, softening the lines where brick meets wood, weaving a gentle unity between the two materials. Moss settles naturally along the base, cooling the warm tones and grounding the structure in the soil. Inside the raised bed, dark rich earth holds the promise of new growth, herbs reaching for sunlight, leaves trembling softly in the quiet morning breeze. The contrast between brick and wood does not feel harsh. It feels balanced, as though both have agreed to support the life they hold. The structure becomes less of a garden feature and more of a quiet promise, a place where rootedness and warmth coexist in harmony. And as you step away from the raised bed, another corner of the garden begins to open, ready to reveal its own gentle transformation. Ten, Concrete Rubble Cottage Stones. There is a quiet transformation that happens when something rough is given patience and a new purpose. Discarded fragments of concrete, once sharp and overlooked, soften into shapes that feel almost natural when placed gently into the garden. Their matte surfaces catch the sunlight in muted tones, soft grays, warm tans, gentle browns, blending easily with the soil they rest upon. Moss gathers around their bases, filling the gaps like tiny green cushions, cooling the stones and stitching them into the earth. Creeping thyme wanders freely across the edges, guiding the eye along the line of stones in slow, easy movements. Lavender stands nearby, brushing its calm fragrance into the air, adding a quiet softness to the rugged texture of the reclaimed pieces. The stones settle into the garden with a humility that feels grounding. They don't attempt to mimic perfection. Instead, they celebrate the simple truth that beauty can come from what was once broken. Their presence carries a peaceful dignity, a reminder that time has a way of softening even the roughest edges. And as the curve of stones leads into the next corner of the garden, the space feels calmer, shaped not by grand designs, but by patience, intention, and a gentle respect for the materials that remain. If you enjoyed this collection of upcycled patio borders, tell us in the comments. Which idea will you try first? Subscribe for weekly inspirations, and don't forget to share this video with friends who love gardens. Thank you for spending your time with Backyard Fortune. Until the next video, may your garden always feel like home.